this video, we are going to discuss a question paper for the IB from the IB board examination. This is the examination code. It's from higher level paper 2. So let's see the first question. You may pause the video for a while and read the question. So now let's start the discussion with part A. 3.26 grams of iron powder are added to 80 centimeter cube of 0.2 moles per decimeter cube of copper 2 sulfate solution. The following reaction occurs. Iron and copper sulfate reacts to give ferrous sulfate and copper. We are asked to determine the limiting reagent with the working, and after that we are asked to find out the copper that is obtained as the product. Thereafter we have been asked to calculate what is the percentage yield of copper, and for that we have been given the information that when the experiment was conducted, 0.872 grams of copper was obtained. So now let's try to understand the question once again with the help of diagram. Now let's try to understand this question with the help of images. So let's assume that this is the iron that we are going to use for the experiment. So from this iron powder, just 3.26 grams of it will be taken, and this is the copper sulfate solution. So from this copper sulfate solution, just 80 centimeter cube of it will be taken, and the concentration of this is 0.2 molar, meaning 0.2 moles in 1 dm cube. This is the concentration. So in the experiment, what will be happening is, if we are mixing this iron into copper sulfate, so in the experiment, what happens is, when we add iron to the copper sulfate solution, what happens is a reaction will be happening, a displacement reaction will be happening. We know that iron is above copper in the metal reactivity series. So obviously iron is going to displace copper ions from the copper sulfate solution, because I mean Fe is more reactive than copper. So the displacement reaction will be iron plus CuSO4 gives FeSO4 plus Cu. This FeSO4 what is formed will be in the solution, that will be soluble, so it remains in the solution. But the copper what is formed as a precipitate, so this copper is actually separated by filtration. It is dried and weighed. After filtration and purification, we have been told that it is 0.872 grams of copper that is obtained. So yeah, this is the experimental portion. Now let's try to understand how to solve this question. So in order to solve the question, let's first find out how many moles of iron is there and how many moles of copper is there. Sorry, copper sulfate is there. So in order to find the moles of iron, number of moles will be equal to mass over atomic mass of iron. Mass is given as 3.26 and atomic mass of iron, this is the grams, atomic mass of iron will be 55.85 grams per mole. So when I'm calculating, this grams and grams gets cancelled out, moles goes to the numerator. So I'll be getting 0.0583 moles. Now we need to find out how many moles of copper sulfate is there. For that, we will be using the formula for molarity, and the formula is concentration is equal to number of moles over volume of solution in dm cube. Just to be careful, it's not in centimeter cube, we want it in dm cube. So the concentration is given here, that is 0.2, which will be equal to number of moles. We don't know how much it is. That's what our aim is, to calculate that. And 80 centimeter cube will be 0.08 decimeter cube. So when I'm cross multiplying, I'll be getting this as 0.2 times 0.08, this will be 0.016 moles. So we've got the moles of iron, we've got the moles of copper sulfate. So our next task is to find out which is the limiting reagent. In order to find which is the limiting reagent, let's take the ratio between these two. So the ratio goes like, let's take it like this. Iron is to copper sulfate. And for that, for this calculation, we need the balanced chemical equation. So I'm just rewriting the balanced chemical equation once again. It will be Fe plus CuSO4 gives FeSO4 plus copper sulfate. And it goes in the ratio 1:1. So 1:1 is the ratio of copper is to iron sulfate. This I'm getting it from the balanced chemical equation. Now, in order to find out which is the limiting reagent, I'll be utilizing the moles of iron and moles of copper, what I've got. So the moles of iron is 0.0583. Let's assume that this is set for X. So what happens when I'm cross multiplying, I'll be getting 1 times X is equal to 0.583 times 1, or I'll be getting X is equal to 0.0583. So means if I'm having 0.0853 moles of iron, I'll be requiring exactly the same quantity of copper sulfate. So many moles of copper sulfate itself. But if you're analyzing the data that we had calculated before, we are finding that the copper sulfate is 0.016 that we have in the solution what we are using. Meaning copper sulfate is not as much as we are expecting. Or in other words, copper sulfate being not in sufficient quantity, that is the limiting reagent. It is just 0.16. So this is the limiting reagent. So our first part of the question is solved. Determining the limiting reagent with working. So that part is solved. Now let's move on to the next part of the question. The mass of copper sulfate obtained experimentally was 0.872. Calculate the percentage yield. So now let's go for calculating that. So yeah, this is what I told. We have as at the end of the experiment, after drying, after filtration and drying of the precipitate, we are getting 0.872 grams of copper. So we are asked to calculate what is the percentage yield. For that, we have to depend on the formula. Percentage yield is equal to actual yield over theoretical yield times 100. This is our actual yield. Theoretical yield is still unknown to us. Or in other words, I can just rewrite this as percentage yield is equal to 0.872 over theoretical. We don't know how much it is times 100. Now let's try solving out how much is the theoretical yield and then come back to this section once again. So in order to calculate how much is the theoretical yield, we have already found that copper sulfate is the limiting reagent, and the amount of copper sulfate that we had calculated previously was 0.016 moles. So now this time we have to take the ratio between copper sulfate and copper. This again is 1:1. So copper sulfate is to copper. As per the balanced equation, it is 1 copper sulfate that is giving me 1 copper, 1 mole of copper. So 1:1. Or in other words, if I'm having 0.016 moles of copper, this would be X, or this X, just because it is 1:1 ratio, this X will be obviously equal to 0.016 moles itself. So we have got the moles of copper, which is same as moles of copper sulfate. Now our next aim is to find out the mass of copper. So in order to find the mass of copper, what we will be doing is number of moles will be equal to mass over atomic mass of copper. So number of moles is 0.016 is equal to mass is what we are supposed to calculate, that is unknown to us, over the atomic mass of copper is 63.55. 63.55. So what happens? This mass will be equal to 1 point. When I'm cross multiplying, I just need to multiply 0.1016 times 63.55. So when I'm cross multiplying, uh, m is equal to 0.016 times 63.55. I'll be getting the mass equal to 1.02 grams. So now my theoretical yield is ready. Theoretical yield means how much I'm getting when I'm calculating it theoretically, not when I'm getting when I'm doing the experiment, but what I'm getting when I do the when I'm doing the calculation based on the stoichiometric balanced chemical equation, based on the stoichiometry of the balanced chemical equation, when I'm calculating what is the data I'm getting. That is theoretical yield. So that is going to be 1.02. So when I'm calculating this, my answer is going to be 85.5%. So this is our marking scheme. So the first part of A part of question number 1 from this paper is done. Next, we have to move to the B part. Let's watch that in a next video. Thank you.